Hello everyone, my name is Aastha. I welcome you all to our classes for International English Olympiad for class 6th. Today is our second class in the series. However, this will be our first conceptual class wherein we will be discussing a separate topic, which is nouns. Nouns is a very interesting topic because very interesting as well as very important because it helps us to understand the various kinds of words that exist in the language. Alright, so let's start and discuss various types and take various examples as well as do the sample questions in the end. Let's begin.
So now our question is, the first and foremost question that we ask ourselves is, what are nouns? हमें किसी भी टॉपिक को समझने के लिए पहले ये अंडरस्टैंड करना पड़ता है कि उस टाइटल का एग्जैक्टली मतलब क्या है. पहले हम उसका मीनिंग करेंगे और मीनिंग को बेटर अंडरस्टैंड करने के लिए उसकी एग्जाम्पल से समझेंगे और फिर हमें एकदम कंप्लीट क्लैरिटी आ जाएगी जब हम इसके क्विज को अटेम्प्ट करेंगे. ऑलराइट, सो हियर वी गो. Noun is nothing but any person, place, thing or animal. Alright, all these things, all of them are nouns. Person, जैसे you and me, जैसे your brother, your mother, your teacher, all the persons, they are nouns. Place, for example, Delhi, India, Australia or Mumbai, all these places are nouns. Then things could be, say, this laptop, things could be a pen, things could be a charger, things could be some food, for example apple. All these things are also nouns. Alright, then animals, so we know dogs, cats, giraffe and say snake and squirrels. All these birds and animals, all of them are nouns as well. So noun की basic meaning we have to know, which is any, this means any person, any place, anything or an animal, any animal. So a noun refers to any person, place, thing or animal. Alright. Well, now that we have understood what exactly nouns are, okay, noun is person, place, animal, thing. So now we will do what are the types of nouns. Nouns में various types होते हैं and we will study each of them with their certain examples and then we will apply them to the questions. So what are the various types of nouns? So here you see a picture. Alright, we will start by understanding through a picture. Now in the picture, what all do you see? Take a minute, think about it and write it in your notebook that what all do you see? What all general things do you see? Here, let me put it for you. Here we see birds. Right, here is a bird, here is a bird, here is a bird, here is an owl. All of them are birds. Next up we also see trees. Right, this tree, this one, this one, this one. These are the trees with different leaves. This one has different leaves, this one has different leaves, different trees. We see food. Now this girl out here probably seems to be on a picnic, right? So she's got a lot of food with her, some sort of cake and juice. So all this is food. Then children, of course. There are so many kids over here. This guy, this girl, this pair is probably coming from school because they are carrying their bags. So children. Plants. You see these herbs and grass and shrubs over here, and this some sort of fruit. And next, animals. Animals, of course. We see here, 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 right? Next, park. Now this overall scenery, this complete scenery is of a park. So what all do we see? What all common things, general things do we see? We see a few birds, we see food items, we see trees, we see children, we see animals, we all see plants, and overall this is a picture of a park. Now what we will do is, we will understand the specific things here. Okay. Now you will understand it later why we are doing this exercise. But just right now, just go with the flow. You see, suppose, let me give you first an example. This park. Now, there can be a lot of parks. There are a lot of parks in the world, in fact. For example, where I live, we have a few parks in our colony as well. But I live in block 3. Alright, and in block 3, there's this one park. So I have named this park as the block 3 park, which means I have specified that this is not just any park, but this is my block 3 park. Alright, so I am saying that this is the image of my block 3 park. Although it is not possible to, have deer and fox in my neighborhood park, but just for understanding, I am saying that this is the block 3 park. Okay. Now, there's this dog. So I have named this dog. That its name must be Bruno. And I have also named this boy and said that his name is Ayush. I also named this girl as Aastha. Then I have left this blank for you so that you can fill over his name or her name yourself. Now you see, this is the first image that we did. Here we said all the general things. For example, trees, birds, food, plants, animals, children, and park. Like, we did not specify which park it was, we just said a park. It is any park, it is just another park. Children, we did not name these children. We did not say this is Ayush and this is Aastha and this is some XYZ person, and we didn't say this is Bruno. Okay, we just generalized. And now this is the first category of nouns, which is the common nouns. Now, common nouns, you see, we're talking about very general things like children. There can be a number of children. There are so many children in the world. We are not specifying which child. We are not specifying any name. We are just saying children. We are not specifying this particular park. We are just saying park, and it could be any park, right? It could be my block 1 park, it could be another central park or any other park. These are common nouns. Let's move on to its meaning. So here the meaning says a common noun is used to name general things, places, ideas, events, or people. Now, if you remember, all these things are what? All these things are nouns. हमने nouns की मीनिंग में पढ़ा था that all these things are nouns. तो common noun हमें क्या बताता है? Common noun is a type of noun जो हमें क्या बताता है? General nouns we can say, the general nouns. इसके examples आप आगे समझेंगे, कुछ ज़्यादा क्लियर होगा. But basic example के लिए जैसे हमने पहले करा, if I say park, which means it could be any park, right? Any park. तो मैंने एक common बोल दिया कि park. अब park में there could be block 3 park, block 1 park, block 5 park, central park, any other park, right? But I said park. इसमें से कोई भी park हो सकता है. तो मैंने बस general place बोल दिया, which is park, right? वैसे ही general people का I just said children, right? I have good children in my class, but I am not naming that I have this person or I have this person, this kid or that kid. I am just naming it generally. So this also becomes a common noun. All right? Proper nouns exactly हैं क्या? Proper noun names a specific person. यहाँ पे important है specific. जैसे हमने बोला था boys, और boys क्या थे? Common noun थे. और उसमें हमने specify क्या कर दिया? हमने specify कर दिया आयुष के लिए. आयुष क्या है? एक specific person है, right? फिर places के लिए हमने first image में बोला था park. पर हमने second image में क्या बोला? कि ये ब्लॉक 3 का पार्क है. अब ब्लॉक 3 में तो एक ही पार्क है ना, तो उसको हमने स्पेसिफाई कर दिया, कोई स्पेसिफिक प्लेस हो गई वो. जैसे एक और एग्जांपल, सपोज हम बोले सिटी, दैट आई एम प्लानिंग टू गो टू अ सिटी. तो सिटी क्या था आपका? कॉमन नाउन. पर अगर हम स्पेसिफाई कर दें, बोलें कि आई एम गोइंग टू दिल्ली, तो वो होगा हमारा प्रॉपर नाउन. थिंक, और जैसे पर्सन के लिए हमने करा, प्लेस के लिए करा और थिंग के लिए करा, एक स्पेसिफिक, ये याद रखना है हमें, जो हम प्रॉपरली एक स्पेसिफिकली बता रहे हैं, तो वो हो गया प्रॉपर नाउन. अब ये चीज और ध्यान में रखनी है कि एक प्रॉपर नाउन ऑलवेज बिगिंस विद अ कैपिटल लेटर. अब जैसे व्हेन यू लर्न टू राइट योर नेम, सबसे पहले आपको सिखाया गया ना कि द फर्स्ट लेटर ऑफ योर नेम शुड बी कैपिटल. If you're writing Aastha, then Aastha ka A is supposed to be capital. Suppose you're writing India, so India ka I has to be capital. Suppose you're writing Delhi, so Delhi ka D has to be capital, right? So ऐसे it has to always begin with a capital letter. तो ये हमारे लिए एक तरीके का एक हिंट भी हो जाता है जब हमें फिगर आउट करना होता है कि क्या कॉमन नाउन है और क्या प्रॉपर नाउन है. तो हमारे लिए गेस वर्क भी हो जाता है, राइट? सो लेट्स, तो हमने दो ब्रॉड कैटेगरीज पढ़ ली हैं. वन इज कॉमन नाउन एंड वन इज प्रॉपर नाउन. तो हम क्विकली रिवाइज कर लेते हैं. कॉमन नाउन क्या हुए? कॉमन नाउन जो किसी भी कॉमन चीज को बता रहे हैं, जैसे पार्क, जैसे सिटीज, जैसे कंट्रीज, जैसे चिल्ड्रन, जैसे एनिमल्स. और प्रॉपर नाउन क्या हुआ? प्रॉपर नाउन हुआ किसी का हम जैसे नेम बताया, हम जैसे हमने किया था आस्था. सपोज वी राइट प्राइम मिनिस्टर नरेंद्र मोदी, सो दैट इज अ प्रॉपर नाउन. Suppose you write the name of your teacher, then that is a proper noun. Your own name is a proper noun. Your pet's name is a proper noun. The city that you specifically live in. So say I live in Delhi, so I write Delhi. Delhi is a proper noun. And we all live in India, so India is a proper noun. Countries बोलते तो countries क्या होता? Countries होता common noun, but India is a proper noun. I hope you have understood. अगर आपको नहीं समझ आया, you should rewind and watch this again. You will get a better hint. हम आगे अभी examples करेंगे तो मे बी आपको और clear हो जाएगा, right? All right. So अब हम examples पढ़ेंगे for common nouns and proper nouns. Examples पढ़ेंगे धीरे धीरे तो it will be clearer to you. So let's start. जिससे you look at this picture first and you see, what do you see? You see fruits. And fruits क्या है? एक general चीज है. Common noun की definition है ये. General चीजें हैं तो common चीज को present कर रहा है तो fruits क्या हो गए? Common noun हो गए. पर इसमें से suppose we have to choose one fruit. Suppose you have to choose your own favorite fruit. I chose watermelon. तो watermelon क्या है? एक specific चीज है. Right, मैंने एक specific fruit choose कर लिया. तो उसी अगर हमने specifically choose कर लिया तो उसे हम बोलेंगे proper noun. Okay, so next example. So here we see this is a group of boys. Okay. And next, here we see there's a single boy. Now there's a group of boys and I want to ask you, who's your best friend? Then you name somebody. For example, let's see. Now these boys would be a common noun. Why? Because as we discussed, common nouns, they talk about general people, general things, general terms में जो बात होती है. So boys, they could be, and when we're talking about one specific one out of these, for example, who's your best friend? You'd say Ali. So Ali would be a proper noun क्योंकि हम एक specifically एक boy की बात कर रहे हैं. Okay, this particular boy we are talking about, that is a proper noun. All right. Now this is what? This is a bundle of books. A lot of books. But suppose this one is we can say a story book. So this are a number of books. ये general term में हमने बोला कि books हैं, कोई भी book हो सकती है, right? कोई भी books हो सकती हैं इनमें, तो ये हो गया हमारा common noun. But इधर when we are talking about one specific book, for example, a story book, so this becomes a proper noun. All right. So here the next example, we have this map of India and we have this map of Delhi. So you see in this picture we can say there are states, we can say there are cities, there are union territories, right? So all these, they become common now. We can simply say there are different places in here. So because we are talking about something that is general in nature, it becomes a common noun. And then when we talk specifically about Delhi, so that becomes a proper noun. Proper nouns are those which talk about some specific noun, some specific animal, place, thing. Alright, so next example. Okay, so herein we have one picture and the next picture. Now, the first picture is basically a bundle of various kinds of biscuits. So, when you say give me a biscuit, you don't really specify which kind of biscuit. So, this one becomes a common noun. We talk in general terms. But if you specify that my favorite biscuit is Oreo and give me the Oreo biscuit, then this becomes a proper noun. Alright? Now next. Okay, so here you see here is a group of cars. There are a number of cars. When we just say cars or car, it is a common noun because we don't know which car you're talking about. We're just talking in terms of a general thing that is a car. But when we talk specifically about Bugatti, we say it is a proper noun, because we're talking about one particular car, one specific particular car, and not in general terms. This is a proper noun. So here we get the first image and the second image. Now the first one, we see this is a group and there is a variety of shoes over here. What? Shoes. And these are common nouns. Why? Because they refer to general things, right? There are various kinds of shoes. There are heels and there are flats and there are, these sport shoes, and there are boots, and these are loafers, and there are different kinds of shoes. So we just refer to them as shoes. This becomes a common noun. However, when we talk about it specifically, जब हम सिर्फ एक की बात कर रहे हैं, there's just one specific kind of shoes that we are talking about. That becomes the sport shoes. And now that is a proper noun. Why? Because we're talking about something specifically. Alright. Now with this, we finish off with the examples of the common nouns and proper nouns. Common nouns are what? When we talk about something that is general. General, place, animal, thing, person. Just children, park, animals, birds. Proper noun, when we're talking about something specifically, that becomes a proper noun. Alright, now we will move on to the next category of nouns. So now you see, now we will talk about different kinds, another category of nouns. And here, what we will figure out is some kind of emotions and bonds. Right, so let me give you an example first. For example, you see friendship over here. Like, both of these are coming from school together. So you see friendship. And then these kids who are playing together, you see friendship over here. Right? So like this, you write down a few of the bonds or the feelings that you can figure out from this picture. And I will give you a few examples as well. Now we see love between friends and love between the animals as well. Here maybe this is her pet, and you see love over here. Adventure. Now you see adventure, you can sense adventure in the sense, like you see this girl I think, or boy, this one is trying to, see through and look at the sky, and they're trying to, find out new things, or maybe just explore. So we see a sense of adventure here. And we also see happiness. Now all these kids, all of them are smiling and they are happily playing and having a picnic and maybe walking, right? And we also see amazement here. Now amazement, like he or she, I think he's pointing out something and he's amazed by the beauty of it, or with his curiosity, this boy. And you see education in the sense that both of them are coming back from school, or maybe it seems like an evening picture. So both of them are coming from school and after having their dose of education for the day. Then all of them are kids, so we can say we see their childhood. And maybe he's thinking about something and he's having an idea. Now if you notice, in all these things, in all these words that we mentioned, what was common? What was common was they have no physical existence. You see, there was, for example, in the beginning when we saw about common nouns and proper nouns, we could see animals, we could see the birds, and we could see the park. But here we cannot really, we could not really see the friendship. We could only assume. These are various ideas, emotions, concepts which we could not see. Right? Now friendship does not have a physical form. We could only sense it, we could only assume, and we could only guess. Right? These are feelings. They cannot be seen or touched or heard or smelled or tasted. All right? They have no physical existence. So all these kinds of all these nouns, they are referred to as the abstract nouns. This is the third category of nouns that we are doing, and these are abstract nouns. They are the ones which have no physical existence. These are ideas or emotions or concepts. All right, and we cannot see them or touch them or hear them, smell them, or taste them. Okay, so this is about abstract nouns. The third category of nouns that we are doing. The examples we just saw were like friendship and childhood and education and love and curiosity and amazement and idea. You know, all of these, they are abstract nouns. Now we have a few examples of abstract nouns. Here what you have to notice here is that all of them, none of them can be seen or touched or heard or smelled. All these have no physical existence, like ability, adoration, advantage, adventure, amazement, anger. Now you may see, we can sense when somebody is angry, right? When their face shows, like there's this emoji over here as well. But anger is something that has no physical existence. You cannot touch anger, you cannot taste anger, you cannot smell anger, right? So that's why all of these are abstract nouns. They have no physical existence. Annoyance, anxiety, awareness about something, beauty, and compassion, and confidence, confusion, curiosity, death, dedication, defeat, delay, dishonesty, divorce, friendship, the example that we saw, generation, goal, gossip, growth, happiness. Now when somebody asks you how happy you are, you cannot really measure it and say. There is no unit for measurement. There is no unit for, you know, your growth, your emotional growth. And there is no measurement for somebody's hate. You can just sense it and just say that you know, I am very happy, or I'm very scared and I have a lot of hope, for example, or I'm horrified. And similarly for life, it has no physical existence, cannot be smelled or touched. Loneliness, loss, love, luck, luxury, right? Here we are not talking about the luxurious things. Mind you, you have to be very careful here. When we start talking about luxurious things, for example, if we talk about a mansion or a bungalow, now that becomes another category of nouns. That is not an abstract noun. because that is something that can be touched. It can be seen. Now, if you're talking about a big house or you're talking about an expensive car, that car can be touched, it can be seen, it can be felt, and it can be heard as well. But luxury is something that you feel. Luxury is a form of life and that you live. All right. Similarly, for maturity, mercy. Mercy means forgiving someone, giving them mercy. Movement, needing something, need, right, rumor, sacrifice, satisfaction, self-control, service, shock, silliness, skill, and sleep. I have a few more examples as well. These are pretty easy. You should pause the video and have a look at them for yourselves and give a read. I'll just quickly read them for you. Belief, bravery, brilliance, calm, care, chaos, charity, childhood. We took this example, remember? Clarity, coldness, comfort, dream. Dreams have no physical existence. Education, elegance, envy, evil, failure, faith, fascination, fear, fiction, freedom, hurt, idea. We took this example. Infancy. Infancy is the infant stage, when you're very young, only a few months or a few years old. Then that's infancy. And inflation refers to the rising prices. Suppose there's a particular car which was for 10 lakhs last year, and now this year it is for say 12 lakhs. So now that car has inflated, rising prices. Then intelligence, irritation, joy, justice, kindness, liberty, lie, opinion, opportunity, pain, patience, peace, pleasure, power, pride, relief, riches, sorrow, success, surprise, talent, trend, trust, victory, weakness, wealth, wisdom, worry. So let's move on. So now we have done 3 categories of nouns. Okay. First was the proper nouns. Second was the common nouns. Now, and the third was the abstract nouns. Now we are moving on to the 4th category of nouns, which is collective nouns. Now, collective, as its name suggests, what is in the name? Collective. Collective can be a synonym of collection. Collection means group. So, the group of people, animal, or things, that is a collective noun. Alright, we will give you examples and then we will understand it better. Right now, what you have to understand is a group of people, animal, or things that is referred to as collective nouns. Alright, so how do we form them? How do we form collective nouns? This is the formation. Collective noun plus of plus the plural noun. Whatever noun we have, उसकी plural form यहाँ पर आएगी and उसका जो collective noun होगा, which we will study now. Collective noun plus of plus plural noun. You should write down this formation and We will see this in the upcoming slides. Okay, here collective nouns of people we are talking about first. For example, if we have certain Morris dancers, we say a side. What is the collective noun here? Side. A side of Morris dancers. If we have pipers, we say a skull of pipers. Right? There are certain candidates for certain job or something, some opportunity. So we don't say a group of candidates. Rather, a group of candidates is called a slate of candidates. Models, we say a slouch of models. A Sodom of shepherds. Squeal of nieces. Staff of employees. Staff of servants as well. Stock of foresters. Superfluity of nuns. Tabernacle of bakers. Tantrum of decorators. Team of athletes. And a team of players. A tribe of Indians, a troop of acrobats, a troop of performers. Females के लिए भी say a troop of females and a troop of males. Alright, this one was for people. Now next, like for sea animals, here you see, we say a band of salmon, a company of angelfish, a family of sardines, a fleet of bass, a float of tuna fish, a flotilla of swordfish, a glint of goldfish, a herd of seahorses. Next, we have sea animals here as well. A party of rainbow fish, a school of cod, a shiver of sharks, a shoal of fish, a troop of shrimp, a swarm of dragonet fish, a squad of skid, a shoal of mackerel. Now you don't have to worry, you don't have to remember all these by heart. Once you will see the questions, जो हम end में quiz करेंगे, जब आप वो questions पढ़ लेंगे, समझ लेंगे, तो there will be only a few जो आपको याद रखने होंगे. In fact, आपको याद रखने की भी ज़रूरत नहीं है, यहाँ पे रट्टे नहीं मारने होंगे. You don't have to rote learn all this. आप once you solve a few questions and if you continue reading and being involved in the language, तो जो थोड़े से common है ना ये the common collective nouns, वो आपको anyway याद ही रहेंगे. So these are just for your reference. For example, some sort of question comes and you don't, so these are just for your reference. आप इससे अपनी vocabulary बढ़ा सकते हैं. I'm just giving you examples. So now a few more. Here we have for birds. Alright, we will do only a few important ones. For example, you see a brood of chickens, and for the hen also we say the same, a brood of hens. And for penguins we call it a colony, and for vultures again we call it a colony. For parrots we call it a company. Now you see, हमने formation कैसे करी थी? Formation we said the collective noun plus the plural form. Right, so here is the plural form. For example, if you see of eagles, eagle की plural form is eagles and convocation is the common noun. So common noun plus of plus the plural form. So convocation of eagles. Alright. Here again we have a few more collective nouns for birds. A flight of birds is the most common. You should remember this one. And you remember for crows also, murder of crows. And this one a host of sparrows. And a stand of flamingos. And a pride of ostriches as well. And you see this is quite funny. For a group of owls we call it a parliament of owls. Now for amphibians, reptiles, invertebrates, insects. Now for the collective nouns, there is no limit. In fact, for nouns only, there is no limit for giving you examples. After all, what we did, what are nouns? Nouns are a noun refers to any person, place, animal, or thing. Right? Now there are so many people, there are so many places, there are so many animals, and there are so many things. अब हम सारे examples नहीं कर सकते हैं. Right? So I'm just giving you a few of them just for your reference. For example, here, frogs one, an army of frogs. For dinosaurs, we call it a herd. Alright, for snakes, we call it a den. For crocodiles, we call it a bask. Isme formation, you remember, the collective noun plus of plus the plural form of the noun. Now next, here are a few more. You see a bale of turtles, a culture of bacteria, army of caterpillars, flight of butterflies, colony of ants, swarm of bees, and a clutter of spiders. Now for mammals, these are a few interesting ones. For example, a colony of rabbits, colony of rats, colony of seals. Then for pigs, we call it a sounder of pigs. For cows, it's a flink. For deer, it's a herd. And for donkeys as well, and for bisons as well, it's a herd. And for lambs, it's a foal. For race horses, it's a field of race horses. These are a few more. We have elephants, we have herd again. We have a pack of dogs, a pack of wolves, and a sloth of bears, troop of goats, troop of monkeys. You must have heard about this. Now you see a few common ones you must already know. You just won't have known कि इन्हें हम collective nouns कहते हैं. वरना जैसे a pack of wolves, a pack of dogs, ये सब you must have heard in some of the movies, or you must have read somewhere, right? Another one we have for things, like a pile of money, a deck of cards, a bunch of keys, and a fleet of ships, fleet of vehicles, chest of drawers, pair of shoes, library of books, roll of film, set of tools, album of photographs. You must already know that photographs ka jo group hai, we call that an album. Alright, so most of them are very common and you must already know. Okay, so now we are done with the abstract nouns. We have done 4 categories of nouns: proper nouns, common nouns, and abstract nouns, and collective nouns. Now we are moving towards our 5th category of nouns. Okay, this is pretty simple. Here you see, now there are 2 different words. One is a cup and the other is a cake. Both of them are absolutely 2 different things. But if we combine those 2 words, we can form another completely new word, which is a cupcake, right? Similarly here, butter, a completely different word, fly, a different word. But when we form them together, we again form a new word, which is what? Butterfly. Butterfly has no connection with butter or fly. It's an absolutely new word, which is a butterfly. Similarly here, sun plus flower makes a sunflower. And book and shelf makes a bookshelf. So these kind of words, they are called compound nouns. So what are compound nouns? When there are 2 words which are formed to make an absolutely new and different word. That is the compound noun. We have a few more examples like pop plus corn makes popcorn, foot and ball makes a football, rain and bow makes a rainbow, moon and light makes a moonlight. Alright? These are also what? These are also compound nouns. So here we have the meaning of compound nouns, what they actually, what is the definition we can say? Compound nouns when two or more words that create another noun. Create a noun. One word joined together. There are two words which are creating one word together, and that word is a noun. So you understand what compound nouns are? Two or more words that are creating another noun by joining the both of them. Now here are again I have given a few examples for you to understand better. I'll just quickly read them. Shoebox and butterfly and star and fish, starfish, ear and ring, earring, hair and brush, hairbrush, hand and bag makes a handbag, wheel and chair. Two different words make an absolutely new wheelchair. Straw is different, berries are different. Together they make strawberries. Now the next one, another few for you to go through. Pan and cake makes a pancake. Rain and bow. Bow is kind of an accessory. Rain and bow makes a rainbow. Grass alag hota hai and hopper alag hota hai, but both of them when combined together make grasshopper. Similarly for jelly beans and similarly for bathtub. Okay, so here we are going to do a small topic but important one. One more category we have is for countable and uncountable nouns. Okay, now as its name suggests, it is pretty easy to understand also. Countable nouns are the ones which we can count using numbers. Alright, and the uncountable nouns are for things that we cannot count using numbers. Alright, and these countable nouns can be singular or plural, and here we can use a or an for their singular form, but here it is difficult to tell. For the countable nouns, it is difficult to tell whether they are singular or plural. They might be some ideas or some abstract things. Let's see the examples. Here, for example, I have a big house. Like a big house. Now, house is countable. कि एक घर है, दो घर हैं, 10 घर हैं. They can be counted, right? So it is a countable noun. Then brothers. She has 2 brothers. So this is also countable, right? But here, when we see uncountable nouns, we see ideas and things like knowledge, air, fear. So these kind of things, they cannot really be counted. That's why we call them uncountable nouns. Alright, so in addition to the category of nouns we have done, this is also important, but this is pretty easy to understand, right? Countable and uncountable. Okay, let's move on. Now you have done all the 5 category of nouns. 5 category of nouns. We have understood what nouns are. We have done the 5 categories. We will quickly revise them now. Alright, so now we are revising our this is a very important slide. This is basically a summary of what all we have done in nouns in all the previous slides. Okay, so pay attention. This is like a summary. This is like a synopsis for you. So first of all, we have done 5 types of nouns. First is the common nouns. Second is the proper nouns. Third is the abstract nouns. Fourth is the collective nouns. And fifth, the compound nouns. Alright, so now you see We started off with our very first picture, the scene or scenery of the park, wherein we explained about various common things that we could see, the general things we were talking about, for example books, and for example fruits. But similarly, when we compared them with proper nouns, and when we talked about specific things, specific places, specific names, specific persons, so that becomes a proper noun. Okay, we discussed about examples. For example, dog is a common noun, but for a proper noun, suppose your dog's name is Bruno. So Bruno is a proper noun and dog is a common noun. Similarly, if we take Kolkata. Now, if we say city, city is a common noun because it is a general thing. It is a common thing. City can be any city. But Kolkata is a specific city, so that becomes a proper noun. Next, we talked about abstract nouns. Abstract nouns, when we refer to, we talked about things that don't have any physical existence. They are an idea, any state or quality. For example, peace here. And we discussed terms like brotherhood, friendship, love, hate. All these things are abstract nouns. Alright. Then we moved on to collective nouns. Collective nouns refer to group. Any group when we are referring to, it becomes a collective noun. Group of people, animals or things. We discussed so many collective nouns and has given example of group of people. We discussed collective nouns like tribe of monkey, etc. And here, when we talk about compound nouns, the example like for monkeys, we can either say tribe, we can also say troop, we can also say a cartload of monkeys, right? Then we move on to the compound nouns. Now for the compound nouns, we learn that they are made up of two words and they form a completely new word altogether. For example, suit and case. They are two different independent words, but we can combine them and form a new word, which is suitcase. Alright. We discussed other examples also like pan plus cake, pancake. Right? So these are the 5 broad categories of nouns: common nouns, proper nouns, abstract nouns, collective nouns and compound nouns. I hope you have understood them by now. So now let's move on. Now it's time for our quiz. We will do the sample questions of IEO and understand each question and try to find their answers. This will be like a practice for you. This will be like a mock exam for you. Alright, so for the quiz, what we will be doing is, now every question you will be given 1 minute. 1 minute means 60 seconds. Why am I giving you 1 minute? Because you see, your question paper of IEO, it has about 50 questions, and so you can imagine that you get more or less a minute to answer the questions. Now this 1 minute is the maximum that you should be taking for answering the question. Now suppose there could be two, three categories of students. First category is, suppose you answer the question within that 1 minute. So I would request you to fast forward the video and skip right to the answer. You should not be wasting your time. Alright. Now the other students who are not able to answer the question in 1 minute, what you do, you don't skip to the answer. You pause the video and you write down your answer. Alright, it is very important to answer each and every question because there is no negative marking. Here you see, for every incorrect answer, no points because there is no negative marking in IEO. So it is important that you attempt all the questions. Now for a question of which you are not sure about the answer, now even here and even in the exam, if you are not sure about the answer and you maybe think that B option might be correct or C option might be correct, so you should in that case play your luck and play your mind and make a guess and still give an answer, because it is a win-win situation. Either you will get the marks for that question or you will get a 0, right? But if you don't attempt that question at all, then you are anyway getting a 0 in that, right? So it is good to attempt those questions, and even if you don't know all the answers, try to understand and take a guess. Okay, so this is for every correct answer 10 points. This is just for your own little game where you can try to maintain a notepad. So here you write the name of the chapter and then the question, and then if it is correct you can give yourself 10 points. If it is not correct, you mark it here. So it is important to see these questions, the ones which you mark incorrect. It is important to go back to them later and then see where you did the mistake. Alright, this is just for your reference. For every correct answer you can give yourself 10 points. Alright, now let's start. Okay, so now the question says, this category of questions talk about choose a noun that does not belong to a group. Okay, so here 4 options are given. We have to identify the group and then accordingly, what do we have to do? We have to choose a noun that does not belong to that particular group. Alright, let's start. A building, C city, B city, C Mount Everest, or D country. Now here the correct answer is, or maybe we can say the word which does not belong to the group is C Mount Everest. Now here C Mount Everest, it is like a natural made structure, ठीक है, geographical area मतलब mountain, okay, landform, whereas building जो structure create होता है, city and country, all these they form a part of one group. Alright, ऐसे ही हमें सारे questions करने हैं. Here the options are A. Bundle, B. Flock, C. Crowd, D. Bird. Now here, what is the group? Let's identify. Bundle, flock, crowd, ये सब क्या है? ये collective nouns हैं. जैसे bundle हम suppose books के लिए कह सकते हैं, flock of birds, crowd of people we can say. So all these ये collective nouns हैं, whereas bird एक single noun है. Okay, here beauty, ink, wood, stone. Now here, what is the exception or the odd one out? It is beauty. Now beauty जो है एक abstract noun है जो refer करता है किसी की सुंदरता को. Alright, that is an abstract noun. Whereas other words like ink, wood, stone, these are things. These are materialistic things जो हम touch कर सकते हैं. ठीक है, you can touch ink, wood and stone. Whereas beauty is something जो आप touch नहीं कर सकते. You cannot touch and exactly feel it. It is not tangible. It is intangible. Whereas all these things are tangible. Okay. Alright, so now the next category of question what we have to do is choose the noun for the home of the given animal. Now for example here, a dash of an alligator. We're given alligator, so alligator का यहाँ पे जो blank में है हमें alligator का home fill up करना है. Alright, so let's see. A nest, B tree, C lodge, D coop. Alligator के home को हम क्या कहते हैं? Nest, a nest of an alligator. All right. Okay, now the next one is a dash of a rabbit. Rabbit का घर. Rabbit के घर को हम क्या कहते हैं? A pen, B den, C kennel, D. Burrow. Rabbit के house को we call a burrow. Right? Okay, so for the rest of these, then जैसे काउ के होम को कहते हैं, देन जो है यूजुअली लायन के होम को कहते हैं, yes, एंड कैनल जो है पपीज का होता है. ऑलराइट, डॉग्स एंड पपीज. Alright, now we have a dash of a rat. A. Nest. B. Hive. C. Lodge. D. Hole. Now rat के home को हम क्या कहते हैं? Hole. जैसे rat usually हम Tom and Jerry में देखा होगा, right? Now there जो rat होता है Jerry, it goes into its hole. So rat का जो होता है that's called a hole. Now for the others, nest जो है हम किसके लिए कहते हैं? हमने बड़ा एलिगेटर के लिए भी हम नेस्ट कहते हैं, बर्ड्स के लिए भी हम नेस्ट कहते हैं, हाइव यूजुअली बीज के लिए कहते हैं. ऑलराइट, एंड लॉज जो है, लॉज आई थिंक पॉसिबल है. लॉज जो है वो जनरली किसी एनिमल के लिए नहीं, लॉज हम तब जैसे यूज करते हैं सपोज व्हेन समबडी कोई माउंटेन पे जा रहे हैं या कहीं अलग इन प्लेन एरिया और इन ग्रासलैंड एरिया, जब वहां पे टेम्पररी स्ट्रक्चर बना के रहते हैं तो उसे हम लॉज कह सकते हैं. ऑलराइट. Alright, so here the next question says a dash of a chicken. A. Roost. B. Coop. C. Nest. D. Burrow. Here the correct answer, which means the home of a chicken, is B. Coop. Okay. For the rest of these options, burrow जो है वो rabbit का होता है, nest हम birds का कह देते हैं. Roost जो है, roost is not really a home of an animal, but roost एक place होती है जहाँ birds या फिर other flying creatures like bats जो वो है ना, they sleep. So उस place को हम roost कहते हैं. Okay. Alright, now a dash of a fox. Now a den of a fox, a burrow of a fox, a tunnel of a fox, or a mound of a fox. Now for fox we refer to it as a den. A den of a fox. Fox के home को हम कहते हैं den. Now for the other options, you see here बी burrow जो है वो यूजुअली रैबिट्स के लिए हम कहते हैं होम ऑफ अ रैबिट इज कॉल्ड अ burrow. एंड देन वी हैव टनल जो है हम आई थिंक मोल्स जो होते हैं मोल्स के हाउसेस को टनल कह सकते हैं. एंड देन वी हैव माउंट. नाउ माउंट हम समटाइम्स रेफर करते हैं जैसे टर्माइट्स होते हैं ना, टर्माइट्स के हाउसेस को हम माउंट कह सकते हैं. ऑलराइट. Okay, now the next one is a dash of a horse. Now a lodge of a horse, B barn of a horse, C stable of a horse, or D cave of a horse. Now horse का जो home है उसे हम stable कहते हैं. Lodge मैंने अभी आपको बताया था. अदर ऑप्शंस में लॉज जो है मैंने आपको बताया था एक टेम्पररी स्ट्रक्चर होता है, जनरली किसी का हाउस नहीं कहते हैं हम लॉज. आई हैवंट हर्ड. एंड देन जो बार्न है, बार्न हम रेफर करते हैं जैसे बफलोज के लिए या कोई कैटल के लिए. ऑलराइट. तो जो केव है उससे हम जनरली किसी के पर्टिकुलर हाउस के लिए नहीं कहते, बस हम ऐसे रेफर कर सकते हैं केव हाउस फॉर अ डॉग और केव हाउस फॉर अ कैट. ऑलराइट. Okay, so here what do we have to do? Choose the most suitable option. A flock of birds or. So here क्या है, यहाँ पे collective noun है flock. तो flock है वो हम birds के लिए use कर सकते हैं, और हम किस animal के लिए, किस option जो है उस option से किसके लिए हम flock use कर सकते हैं, that we have to choose. Alright, let's start. So a flock of birds or A cows, B elephant, C sheep, D horse. Yeah, the correct answer is a flock of birds or sheep. Sheep के भी हम collective noun जो use करना होता है, we use it as flock. All right. Okay, here a litter of pups or A horses, B piglets, C mules, D donkeys. Here the correct answer is a litter of pups or B piglets. यहाँ पे जो collective noun है मतलब जो group हम group name refer करते हैं that is litter, and this can be used either for pups or it can also be used for piglets. Piglets are the babies of pigs. Okay, see the piglets are pups and pups are the babies of dog. All right. Okay, here a drove of dash. A piglets, B horses, C cattle, D elephants. Now drove, the collective noun, is referred for cattle. Alright. Drove is the collective noun, group name given to cattle. Cattle में क्या क्या आ जाता है? So these goats and cows and buffaloes. सबको हम collectively cattle कह सकते हैं. Okay, इनके collective noun को drove, a drove of cattle. Alright. Okay, so here we have a dash of musicians. So the collective noun for musicians. A bunch, B choir, C band, D mafia. This is pretty easy. Musicians के group को हम क्या कहते हैं? Band. Right. This was easy. I'm pretty sure you need this one. So here, next is A dash of thieves, A crowd, B herd, C gang, or D litter. Here, what of thieves? It is a gang of thieves. Thieves के जो collective noun है, जो group word है, हम उसे refer करते हैं as gang. So a gang of thieves. Alright. Next, a dash of ships, collective noun for ships. A crew, B fleet, C tribe or D shoal. Now here ships जो हैं उसके हम collective noun को क्या कहते हैं? B fleet, a fleet of ships. All right. Okay, here a dash of bananas. A bouquet, B bunch, C cluster और D pack. Bananas के लिए हम collective noun क्या रेफर करते हैं? B bunch, a bunch of bananas. Okay, I went to buy a bunch of bananas. The next category of questions, what do we have to do here? We have to choose the abstract noun from the list of given nouns. Now यहाँ पे हमें abstract noun choose करना है और abstract nouns क्या होते थे? Let's just reminder ले लेते हैं. Some sort of feelings or ideas, कोई intangible चीज, मतलब something that cannot be seen or heard or touched. Okay, so those kinds of nouns are called what? Abstract nouns. अब हम देखेंगे हमें ऑप्शंस दिए हैं और ऑप्शंस में से हमें चूज करना है कि कौन सा एब्स्ट्रैक्ट नाउन है. Let's see the words. A brilliance, B duchess, C stone, D heifer. Now here, what is the abstract noun? A brilliance. Now brilliance, intelligence, जो कोई बहुत intelligent, someone is brilliant. Brilliant becomes an adjective, and brilliance is a noun. So brilliance is something that cannot really be touched, or it cannot be seen or heard, right? Brilliance is an abstract noun. Now for the other words like duchess, duchess is the female queen कह सकते हैं किसी place की, okay, duchess. All right, now the other one, stone, we know what is a stone, it's a thing. And heifer जो है, heifer हम usually refer करते हैं for a young cow. All right. Right, so here the options are A. Frequency, B. Hosepipe, C. Flame, or D. Fireman. So here the abstract noun is A. Frequency. Frequency is what? The number of times something happens. How often does something happen? Alright. Now for the other options, like we have B. Hosepipe. Now hosepipe refers to pipe जो usually use होता है like to water tap से connect कर देते हैं हम इसे tap है suppose ये इसे connect कर दिया pipe and यहाँ से फिर इसमें water चला दिया water goes तो आप plants को पानी दे सकते हो या फिर otherwise okay don't mind my drawing it's really bad in the computer okay so hosepipe को हम touch कर सकते हैं तो abstract noun कैसे हुआ C flame फ्लेम मतलब जो you know that आग जो लग जाती है like गैस स्टोव पे जब हम चलाते हैं that burning that's flame. D. Fireman is a profession. Okay. The correct answer here is frequency. Okay, now the options are A. Length, B. Cathedral, C. Island, or D. Continent. Now here, the correct answer, the abstract noun is A. Length. Length means something, telling something how long it is. Alright. Now for the other options, B. Cathedral. Cathedral is a church, a place where we can visit, so it can be seen and touched. And island, you know, this is a landmass of area. I'm pretty sure आपने geography में पढ़ा होगा. Landmass, and it is surrounded by water on all sides. So that piece of land is called an island. Then we have continent. Now continent, we know, like Asia is a continent, Europe is a continent. All right. So we know what continents are. They have numerous countries within them. All right, the areas of land mass. The earth is divided into. Okay. Okay, now here the options are A. Youth, B. Oak, C. Vase, or D. Hourglass. Now here the correct answer is, pretty sure you know it, A. Youth. Youth matlab when you know someone is young and of less age, जिनका period होता है that particular age, उसे हम कहते हैं youth. And for the other options, oak. Now oak is a sort of a tree or shrub जिसे कहते हैं, that is a category. Okay, vase is that container sort of thing, एक showpiece की तरह जो हम रखते हैं, usually shaped like this. Okay, These are savas. Then we have hourglass. Hourglass क्या होता है? Must have seen these. Just a minute, let me draw this again. Yeah, some sort of a structure like this, wherein what happens कि यहाँ पे जैसे sand होती है, all right, here sand, and यहाँ से वो इधर निकल के यहाँ होती है, फिर इसे आप when you tilt it upside down, फिर sand दूसरी तरफ से नीचे की साइड आने लग जाती है. So this structure is called an hourglass. All right. So all these things can be touched, whereas youth cannot really be touched. It's an abstract noun. Next we have prosperity, packet, garden and angel. The correct answer is A, prosperity. Prosperity means happiness, when everything's good and nice and enjoying life, that's prosperity. Some resources होते हैं, all right. B, packet. Package is the package of something, like you get a packet of Lays. So the container in which Lays comes, that is Lays ka packet. C, garden, we know what a garden is. Angel, we know what who angels are, right? So all these things, they can be seen, touched, whereas prosperity is an abstract noun. All right. Okay, so here what do we have to do? We have to fill in the blanks with appropriate nouns of the type specified in the bracket. Here we are given a sentence, blank है. Blank में हमें क्या fill करना है? इनमें से option, but that option should be a common noun, whatever noun is specified. Okay, let's see. I saw a little dash shivering in the rain, and we have to fill in common noun. The options are B, A, I saw a little boy. B, I saw a little Rahul. C, I saw a little Neha. D, I saw a little Ami. Okay, so here the correct answer is A, boy. Now, interestingly, boy is the only common noun here. Okay, so यहाँ पे आ गया boy. For the other words, Rahul is a proper noun. Specific boy की ना बात हो रही है. Rahul इसका name है. Neha is a specific girl. Okay, and army. Army जो है, it is a collective noun. Army of soldiers होता है. So army is a collective noun. All right. I hope you have understood how we have to do this category of questions. I expressed my deep dash at his mother's death. What do we have to fill? Abstract noun. A. Anger. B. Deep sorrow. C. Deep mercy. Or D. Deep leniency. Now here, the correct answer is B. Sorrow. First of all, let's see how many abstract nouns do we have. Here, anger, sorrow, mercy, leniency. All these four are abstract nouns. Okay, all these four are abstract nouns. Why? Because they're talking about feelings and ideas and emotions which cannot be touched. Okay, they're intangible. And here we will be filling in sorrow because we're talking about his mother's death. So that is a sorrowful event. It's a sad event. So we'll be using sorrow. Other words like A. Anger, ये तो गुस्से की बात है. Okay. C. Mercy, it's about gratitude. D. Leniency, मतलब जब strictness नहीं दिखा रहे, giving some sort of freedom and liberty, that is called leniency. Some sort of relaxation जब देते हैं. Okay. Now here, Dash was a great king who would always be remembered by the people of our country. The options are A. Sita, B. Akbar, D. Rajputas. Here the correct answer is B. Akbar. Now here, first of all, let's see कौन से proper nouns हैं. A. Sita, name of a person, proper noun. B. Akbar, proper noun. C. Rajputas, is talking about dynasty, proper noun. D. Soldier. Now soldier is a common noun. Alright. Now for the other options, let's see. We're talking about a great king. Okay, we know Akbar was a great king. Sita is referred to in the Mahabharata and she's a female, so she was not a great king, right? Rajputas, we're talking about a dynasty. Rajputas was a dynasty and here we have to refer to a king. So Rajputas is incorrect and the soldier is not a proper noun, so that is also incorrect. Okay. So here, a dash of players was cheering on the playground. We have to refer to a collective noun. Now here, a team of players, B, a pair of players, C, a bundle of pairs or D, a pack of players. Players के लिए हम कौन सा रेफर करते हैं? A, team. So it's pretty easy. Players के group को हम team रेफर करते हैं. Okay. Now the other one, सारे collective nouns हैं. All of these are collective nouns as well. But players के लिए we refer to team. So answer is A. so here we have to choose the correct option in this category of questions. Let's see. A dash of hens. A bed of hens, a herd of hens, a brood of hens, or a colony of hens. Hens के group को हम क्या कहते हैं? Brood. Collective noun for hens that is used is brood. All right. Right here. Eyrie of an eagle, B, a burrow of an eagle, C, a troop of an eagle, or D, army of an eagle. So here the answer is A, eyrie. Now eyrie is referred to as the home of an eagle. All right. So the answer is eyrie, an eyrie. Here, the test results have caused much dash. A, anxiety, B, honest, C, dramatic, or D, loyal. So here the correct answer is the test results have caused much anxiety. First of all, this is a question of nouns. What do we have to fill in here? Nouns. And all these other options you see, honest, dramatic, loyal, all these are what? They are adjectives. What are adjectives? Adjectives are words that are used to describe something. So these are adjectives. Alright. Now the other words like anxiety. Now anxiety is an abstract noun. Okay, the test results have caused much anxiety. Anxiety का मतलब जैसे nervousness हो जाना, tension हो जाना. Results होते हैं तो usually tension हो जाती है बच्चे को, which shouldn't really happen because they're just marks and you are a lot much more than marks. All you should focus on is learning. आप learning पे focus करोगे and अपनी education पे focus करोगे तो नए नए concept सीखने पे focus करोगे and उनको अच्छे से पढ़ोगे, not क्योंकि marks लाने हैं but because आपको नई नई चीज़ें सीखनी है. तो जो marks है ना वो एक by product की तरह आपके आ ही जाएंगे. Alright, the focus should be on learning and marks will come anyway. Alright. Here, a dash of judges, a mob of judges, a band of judges, a pack of judges, or a bench of judges. Here the correct answer is a bench of judges. Usually Supreme Court में, High Court में, there's this bench of judges जिसमें क्या होता है, एक panel होता है जिसमें 2 to 3 group of judges जो कोई भी case का या verdict का decision लेते हैं. So group of judges को हम कहते हैं bench of judges. All right. Okay, here a dash is not a countable noun. Not a countable noun. मतलब not a countable noun. तो uncountable noun हुआ. इसमें से कौन सी चीज है जो uncountable noun हुआ? A dollar, B gold, C orange, or D ship. Okay, correct answer is B gold. उनको हम count नहीं कर सकते ना कि एक gold, कि दो gold, कि few gold, right? So the correct answer is B. Gold is an uncountable noun which can't really be counted. Okay, that's it. With this we come to an end for our questions on nouns.
So that's all for our class on nouns. I hope you have understood the various types as well as the questions that we discussed. I would request you to go back and revise them so that you don't make many mistakes in them, in your questions and in nouns in general. I will see you the next time. Thank you for watching.